Hi, guys, listening. My name is Mary Fashanu. I am a business strategist and a coach. I have been in business for 10 years now. However, I've been coaching going to 3 years now. So I've got a few other business that I do.
Hello and welcome to Obehi Podcast. I'm your host, Obehi A14, and I strongly believe that everyone has a story to share. Now let's get started into this episode.
My major life mission, the way I always call it, is to help individuals as many as possible that want to tap into their purpose and convert it into making money. So people that want to make impact while making money through business, I want to help them. And so that's what I do with my clients, helping them to set the right foundation in their business to propel them for success. A lot of businesses these days, they have issues, especially between the first to 5 years of running a business. They have issues and stuff, but then they think it's a surface problem, but it's a foundational problem because they've not taken the time to do some fundamental things in their business. So, and this is why I exist, to help business owners, my clients, especially service businesses, that between the first and 5 years of running, to help them get the right foundation in place so that if they have problem in life in their business, it would not be about foundational problem, because they already got that locked in. So that's what I do in a nutshell. So business strategist and a coach, and also I'm an agile coach, professional coaching as well. So that's a little bit about me. Thank you.
That's lovely. That's very interesting. In fact, there is a lot to unpack there, and we're going to take it one bit at a time. So, if I, I was very happy just now when you say you are from Nigeria. That is, we are very proud of ourselves, no? That's where we're going to start from.
Yeah.
So, tell me, were you born in the UK, or did you come from Nigeria? You were already an adult. Tell us a little bit about that.
Okay, so I was not born in the UK. I was born in Ile-Ife, Osun State, Nigeria.
Wow.
How to say that? I lived in Ile-Ife until I moved to the UK. I moved here when I was 12 years old with my mom and my siblings. So yes.
All right. Now, of Ile-Ife, if we take up that argument, we will not be able to talk about what we are going to talk about today. But I believe that by the time we finish out of the camera, I'm going to ask you some things there, because that is a very important part of Nigeria, of Africa, no? So yeah, we're going to have time to talk about that. You are from there. I'm very proud. There are a lot of beautiful things about you. All right. So now you were born in Ile-Ife. You grew up there till 12 before you came to UK.
Yeah.
All right. Now I'm going to let you know why I'm asking you these questions, because I'm going to spend some time just now about your background before we start talking about your business. The reason is that this podcast is dedicated to African and African diaspora.
Mhm.
And being African diaspora, our history is very important for us. So it is intentional if we are talking about where are we coming from, who are we, before we start talking of what we do and how we do what we do. So I'm deliberate on that. So till the age of 12, what do you remember of Ile-Ife? That is the place you were born.
What do I remember? I remember the place itself, right? Obviously, I attended primary school and secondary school there. So I remember that my school, both primary and secondary, were owned by the king's older sister. So King the Sijuade king, this older sister. So she was the proprietress of the school that I went to. I always find that interesting to share. And when I was there, it was not fully developed. It was not that great. But for me, when I was young, for me, it was perfect because my parents made sure that our life there, what we know, what we experienced, were good. I went to private school. The school we went to was private. And we have cousins, family members there. So we go there for holidays. We made friends. So for me, But the only thing that was quite sad that I can remember was the war between Ile-Ife and Modakeke. I can't say much about it because I was quite young there, but there was the war and there was curfew and we couldn't go to school. There was, shortage of food and things like that. But I'm just grateful to God for my parents, who obviously, and people that fought in the war, and I am still alive today. Obviously I've lost my parents, but my family members, they're still alive and things like that. But that's what I could remember. Obviously, I remember the good times. My parents were both entrepreneurs. My mom was a nurse before she died, and my dad was a professor. And the both had, like, my mom had two pharmacists. Then my dad owned restaurants. My mom had boutiques for adults and for kids. So I guess that was where my entrepreneurial trait came from. So yes, I remember obviously watching them work hard, especially my mom, and just not caring about society, and they're just going for what they believe their purpose, pursuing it, and just becoming who they were. And I want to believe they were successful, regardless of. I mean, back then, Lagos used to be like the abroad to us when we're in Ife. So, and for them to have done so well for themselves in Ife, that was something for me to be proud of, for my parents, and for them to, from Ife, to just move to, UK, Manchester. That means what has done a lot of stuff, like work hard, raise money, make sure the business was successful, to move. We're five kids, to move all of us, together at the same time. So that really taught me that I can become whoever I want to become in life, not allow any, my environment where I grew up to stop me, because there's a purpose in my life.
Everything about Africa is interesting,
Mm.
because I say again, we are really intentional about this telling of our story. So you did say that you grew up there. Of course, your parents were there around you. So what did they teach you about the place that you are coming from now? This is Ile-Ife. I say again, Ile-Ife is very important for us as Nigeria, as because of the history around it. No. So what did they tell? What did they teach you? What did you learn there? Okay, you only lived there till 12 years old, so I'm not going to probe you so much. So if there is anything you can tell us about the culture there, then of course we are going to move to a different session in it, which is about what you're doing today, and even your destination Europe. But help me with the culture that you remember.
Ah, I think the culture is about, the one I knew that I think still sticks with me till now, is, respect. And I love culture. And even though I was 12, even though I moved away when I was 12, my mom still instilled that culture across the ocean to England. We didn't just say because we've left Ife, we're going to abandon what we've known and just become all this, because we're in England, we can't relate with Ife anymore. No. So the culture, the language, I still speak Yoruba very, very well. When we moved to the UK, we still spoke Yoruba in our household, and obviously now I have kids as well. My kids are speaking, no, we're speaking Yoruba to them. They're grasping it, they're still young. And also respect, for obviously respect is very key in our culture. Of course, we grow to then learn that respect is earned. Even before that, for your elders, respect them. Yes, there's no two way about it. So when you see me outside, I remember when I moved to the UK and I'll see my parents' friends on the road, I'll literally kneel down for them on the road and greet them. And they were shocked that I'm still doing that, even though I'm in England. Like, they just thought, because we're in England, we'll be too shy to kneel down outside, but I still did it. I still call people, but sirs, without respect. And also just respect for the culture. Don't forget where you come from, and also instilling that, because I just believe that obviously my parents are gone now, but I believe if not for their teaching, if not for their, how the environment, the culture that we were brought up with in Ife or in Nigeria, I, I would not be, or we would not be who we are today. I believe some of the culture, I'm not saying all the culture are great or perfect, but I believe some of them kind of molded us to be who who we are today. And I want to believe we turn out to be great. If I do this to myself, and it has helped us. So I think that's one thing like my parents instilled in us, not to forget where we come from, always respect culture, always respect people regardless of their age, whether you're old or young, respect them, respect what they have to say. Don't lose your language, don't lose your mother tongue, even if you can't speak it, learn to understand it. And I'm just hoping that my kids, because they're born here, I'm hoping that they can speak or at least learn, so that wherever they are, if somebody is speaking about them or against them, they will understand. They might not be able to speak it very well. So I'm just hoping that one day I can instill that in them. And also Christianity. Christianity, I grew up in a Christian home, but we were taught to also have our own relationship with Christ. So obviously, if you know Nigeria, we're quite religious, as a country. But I'm from my parents. So my dad was a Muslim from a Muslim family. My mom was from a Christian family. But my dad converted because of my mom. What a lovely love story.
Yeah, see, that was strong there.
I know. But yeah, that's another thing that, they taught us and instilled in us, our Christian journey. Obviously, then you grow to then realize for yourself which path you want to go. But they gave us that foundation. They gave us that path and the access to that. You have this, go in this way. But then when you're of age, you decide where you want to go into. So I'm really grateful to them for that.
All right, now destination UK. You got to
Hmm.
UK. You were 12.
Yes.
What do you remember of your UK? Is it in the early period now? Is the last thing I'm going to ask you about your background before we move to what you do today. So remind me, what do you want us to know about your background in the UK?
So when I got here, I was the first one out of my siblings to go to school. So, for example, we got to this country a Saturday. I started my school on a Monday immediately. I was started year 8 then in this country, and I remembered being bullied a lot. I was bullied, possibly because of the way I speak, or because I'm black, or because people that actually bullied me were black people. Funny enough, not white people. So I can't really say it's racism, but I knew I was bullied um, to the point that I had to leave the school. There was fight, like physical fight, and the school said they couldn't do anything about it, and that really enraged my mom. And then I had to leave the school. I left the school. I went to a worse school. This school that I went to, oh my goodness, it was bad. Like literally, it was bad.
Simply bad.
Yes, like the way they were like on the board, like government board, we're literally at the bottom. We're not doing well. But then government, the states took over, they converted the school, changed the uniform, changed the name, trying to do everything, change everything about it. And I always tell people, look, I went to one of the worst school in Manchester, but here I am. I turned out okay, right? I became an ambassador of that school. I said, yes, I'm gonna make something of myself. Became an ambassador of that school. From that school, I did so well. I went to college and I got into top 10 business school for university because my mom told every one of us, whatever you want to do at uni, make sure the university you apply to is top 10 of that course. And I've always wanted to do international business. So I had to research like which one is one of the best for international business. And I go into Aston Business School. And at that time, I think it was top 10 or top 5, one of the, but shout top 10. And I got in, I was so excited. So I always use that to tell people that it does not matter where you come from, it's what you do with what you have. So I've come from, and where I lived from 12-year-old to I moved out of my parents' house, it was one of the, it was not a very good place. There are gangs in that area. You could hear gunshots. God just kept us. So it wasn't the perfect area, but we came out of that place and we came out good. All my siblings are doing very, very well in their field. So when people give excuses, I don't like when people give excuses. It doesn't matter where you were born. It doesn't matter how you were born. It doesn't matter where you live or where you grew up. What matters is what you do with what you have, your determination to say, you know what, I might have come from a rural area, I might have come from the gutter, but I'm going to make my life different. I'm going to take something out of that, turn that ashes into beauty. And that's why I like to, and I love that you're asking those questions, because that's why I like to tell that story. Like, you see me today, a coach, a consultant, whatever, it didn't start like that. My background was not fancy, right? I did not grow up in a nice mansion in England or whatever. No, I did not. So, but for me to have come out of that and make something out of myself, I'm not just a coach, I'm not just a consultant, I'm a real estate investor. So it's so everybody, as you have a lot to achieve in your life with yourself. Do not let society limit you. Do not let circumstances limit you or situation limit you. Everything is your own power. Nobody can stand in the way except you.
Within the context that we are talking, within the demography that we are concentrating, which is the African diaspora,
Mm.
um, people need to understand, again, why we try to look at the background of the people is that people need to know that we are looking at ordinary people who become extraordinary.
Mm.
You don't need to start as an extraordinary. You need to come natural and just be that, you see. So now give us a little background of your business. Of course, I know that we're going to be talking about consistency today. And of course, we can already see a lot of consistency in what you do now, but in this sense, we're going to be speaking more in the business area. Give us a little background of what you do.
So I'm a coach, like I keep saying, strategist. So I'm a strategist at heart. And I picked being a strategist up when I was at university. Because part of my course, one of my modules was strategy. And when I traveled abroad to France, I studied in France for a year. And I also learned global strategy as well. So international business, anything, international law, finance, anything you can think about. But obviously, when I finished that, I was like, what do I do with this? I wasn't sure. But while I was at uni, I developed my first ever strategic concept note, which I used to, so it replaces business plan. So I was just at uni, I was just thinking, why is everybody always saying they want to start a business and they want to write a business plan? Like, what do you even know about the business that you want to write a business plan? Because I don't know if you hear everybody say, I want to start a business, but I need to write a business plan. So I'm like, why is business plan the first thing you want to write about? I always argue that I don't accept that business plan is first thing you need to write when you want to start a business. Okay. So I created this strategic concept note and I called it the 5 W's of starting a business. Because when starting a business, first of all, you don't even know what you want to do. You're not even sure if it's going to work, right? And then you want to go and write about 150 pages business plan that you have no clue about, right? And then you want, because so for me, I was like, you can write a business plan if you want to look for investors. You want to go get loan in a bank or anywhere, so they want to see your business plan, which I understand. But before you can even say you want to get a loan or you're looking for investors, you need a full understanding of your own business. So this is why I don't accept or I don't agree with people saying I want to start a business. Is business plan that I need immediately. So I created this strategic concept note, which is 5 W's of starting a business. So, for example, what is the business? Why are you doing it? Who is it for? Where are you going to position yourself, and how? Which is like, what method are you going to use to actually achieve these business goals of yours? So, if very high level, very simple. If you want to start a business, if you answer those questions in depth, in detail, it gives you some sort of clarity and some sort of direction. So when you start, like for instance, now that I'm in business, I can write business plan with my eyes closed about my business because I know it better. I know about my competitors. I know about the market analysis. I know about the finance of it. I know how much I'm bringing in. I know how much I need to forecast. I know all these things. I can sit down and write a business plan that will not take me a week, right? If I want to get money from anywhere or look for investors. So I created that. So when I created that, people, my friends at uni, they were using it. I saw that, oh my God, there's something in this, right? For me to have done that. And this is just me. This is organically me. I did not look anywhere. I did not search anywhere. It just came and I did it. And I created it for everyone that wants. It's free. It's on my website anywhere, wherever wants it, right? And then I did that after university. I didn't know what I want to do. All I knew was I wanted to be an event planner. So every business plan, while at university, part of our course is to do a business plan, even at college, everything I did was all about event planning. because I believe I'm so organized. I work better under pressure. If you've ever worked in event planning, you would know that it's a lot of pressure and stress. And I love the adrenaline that it brings. So I created an event planning company in 2013. I planned event in the UK. It was a budget event planning because everybody's doing luxury, charging a lot of money. It's like, so who's going to cater to people that don't have this much money? But they still deserve a very well organized wedding. So I said, I'm going to make my wedding planning company a budget, an affordable event planning company. I did that for some time and I enjoyed it. It was profitable while I was at it. I did in Nigeria as well. I had a team in Nigeria. I did weddings in Nigeria. I did over here. And it was beautiful. That's like my background. And then while doing that, I started, I went to, I got pregnant. It was my maternity leave time. And I was a business analyst at that time in my career. And the money they were going to pay me was very small compared to what I was earning originally. So I was like, well, so I couldn't sleep because finance used to be an issue with me. I cannot afford not having money. So I was having sleepless night. Like, how are we gonna do? We already have a daughter. We have another baby coming. We have a mortgage to pay. We have everything. So how are we gonna cope? How am I gonna support my husband? So I remember there's a saying that in Nigeria we used to say, "Use what you have to get what you want."
That's
And
beautiful.
like, even though when you watch Nollywood movies, when they say those things like that, it's not positive. It's usually negative stuff.
I understand. Get
I'm
it.
gonna make it positive. Like, then I said, look inward. What do you have, Mary? What can you do that will not hurt your baby, that will not hurt your health? You don't have to leave your house. And I thought, you know what? I'm gonna become a virtual assistant. So it's not too stressful because I have admin experience. I've been an executive assistant back when I was in Abuja before. So all those knowledge, all those experience I can bring and help other people. And at that time, this was in 2018, 2019. At that time, there are a lot of people, workers, young corporate workers who also has side hustle businesses. So when they go to work, nobody to manage a business for them, nobody to do so they have to wait when after work that they come to. So I was like, you know what? I will step in, help become your virtual assistant. Give me your task. While you are at your work, I can be doing this for you. Email management, calendar management, email writing, letter writing, all those things, research, data entry. I was doing it for people and I was charging money. I think my first pay then was £400. I was shocked. I'm like, people are willing to pay me? Why did I think about this earlier on? And from there, it keeps growing, it keeps growing, it keeps growing. And then it got to a point I realized that while I was doing this virtual assistant, I was then also giving people business strategy. I was giving business advice, more like coaching. I'm like, I'm giving more than I'm being paid for. So maybe it's time that I transition to business coaching. Then I went for a conference in Manchester, and it was right then and there. I said, you know what? It is time to move this forward to become what I've always wanted to become, which is a coach and helping businesses and all. So I went and changed the name from virtual assistant to Mary Fashanu Limited on the company's house, and then started, creating my website. Started thanks to my husband, and then started creating my social media presence, putting things together, creating content, and that was it. And like doing that in my first year of operating, I made revenue of £10,000. And for me, that was a sign that you are in the right place.
Direction. You're
You
the
know,
right path.
I did all honestly, I did all of this on Instagram, online. I didn't have to go to anybody's house because, again, at that time, COVID had happened. So you can't really go meet anybody because nowhere was open as well. So it was more online Zoom meetings, creating awareness for my brand and things, and getting referrals and things like that. And it was amazing. Obviously, after the first year that I made that money, I said, yeah, I've done it myself now. Now I need to get a coach to give me further direction if I want to move up the ladder, I want to scale. And I got myself a coach for 6 months. Then I also enrolled on John Maxwell program, which I did for a year. And those two separate kind of coaches transformed the way my business is. Then I went from charging low fee, £100 there, £200 there, to charging thousands. Now, I'm not saying that I don't have programs that hundreds of pounds, I do, but it kind of elevated my mindset about what my value and what I offer to people, and people then see that value and they're willing to pay whatever price tag I put on it, whether £10,000 or whether £5,000 or whether £1. They see the value and they're willing to pay for it. So that is that journey. Obviously, now I'm going to my third year now, which is fantastic. I'm loving it so far. It has its struggles. It has its, is hard times, but I'm enjoying this journey. I'm enjoying impacting lives, changing lives, helping people see value in themselves, helping them tap into their purpose and using that and becoming a better version of themselves every single day in their businesses.
This is lovely. It is very, very important. We need it a lot. We need more of it in the community, People need to understand again that ordinary people can become extraordinary, You don't need a silver bullet to do this. And because it is you saying it, I believe that many other Nigerians out there, maybe in Europe, in Nigerian diaspora, they can look at you and say, if Mary can do it, I can do it. This is the only message we are preaching here. That other people like you can do it. Because it makes a lot of sense. If you were an Italian or maybe a German or maybe a British, a European origin, you are saying this, they might say, well, it's not like me. You didn't pass through what I passed through. You don't have to come from Nigeria to become successful. So, but if they look at you, they look at your journey, look at your story, a very simple beginning, you have been able to scale and able to materialize something in your life, then it becomes easier for them to understand. So this is the whole essence. Now, how do you go about the sales? This is very important now. Tell me about it, because sales and consistencies, I think these are the two words I'm going to remain, that is going to remain on my lip today. Go on, please help me.
Okay. Consistency in sales. Okay, so a lot of people get this wrong, and it's okay, because what you don't know, you don't know. So that is fine. And so when it comes to sales, I always tell people, know your numbers. Okay, know your numbers. That's one sure way of creating consistent flow of income. So the first part of knowing your number is, so first things, I tell people that they want to make more sales, they want to make more money. So I ask them, what does that mean? I want to make more money, more sales. It's absolutely nothing. It means nothing to me. So tell me, how much you want to make? How much are you making right now? How much more do you need to make? How much is enough for you? Okay. So tell me, you have to put a figure to it when it comes to sales. What is your sales goal? So it's very easy. I break it down for people. So the first thing is, what's your sales goal? So let's assume I want, in my first year of business, I want to make 5 figures. So that's like the minimum is £10,000 a year, right? Or €10,000 a year, right? Okay, so that's number one. We've said that in 2022, I want to make €10,000 or £10,000. Fine. Now, what does that mean to you every month? What does €10,000 mean? How much you need to make? Because obviously you need to make that money every month consistently to actually achieve minimum of €10,000. So you divide that by 12, 10,000 by 12. It will give you maybe, I think, €833 a month. Okay. Then when you have that figure, that okay, things are looking clearer to you, then you now think about yourself, okay, what am I selling? What service? What product? What's my package? What do I need to sell to give me, or how many products, how many service, how many clients do I need to sell to achieve €833 every month consistently? So let's say you're a service business, because I really focus on service business a lot. So now let's assume you need, let's say, 3 people or 4 people to achieve in a month, to achieve that plan, that €833 a month. You need that one, right? That's fantastic, right? Now we know that number. The next thing is, for you to get that 4 people, you need a lot more leads. because it's not 10 people that come to your store or to your website that will actually buy from you. It's not 10 people that you speak to on the phone, your consultation, that will actually pay for your service. So you need to have more people, definitely more than 10, definitely more than 20, to be speaking to be able to achieve that at least 4 clients every month. Right. So when you know, I have a formula for that. When you know the amount of people that the amount of clients you need to make £833 a month, then you need to now know how many leads. So leads are different from clients. Leads are people that everyone that kind of come to you say, "Oh, I like what you do. I would like to buy from you." It's a lead. But then when you start talking to them, things might change. You guys might not like each other's vibe. They might not like the way you do it. It might not be for them. They might not be ready. They might not have the money, and that can happen. So you need a number of leads to be able to get you that 4 clients. Right? So when you know that, oh, I need to speak to at least 40 people or at least 50 people in a month to be able to get 4 people, then all these things will then inform your market. So a lot of people do, they rush into things. Oh, I'm doing marketing. I'm paying someone. I'm doing Instagram ads. I am paying influencer. I'm doing, and I'm like, do you know the objective? Do you know what you're doing? Do you know your figures? Do you know how much you need to make? Do you know where your ideal clients are? Do you know where to find them? Some like my first year of running business, I did not do ads. I did not pay any influencer. Once you know that's where clarity comes in, right? Once you know your ideal client, you know their problems, you know you can provide solution to that problem, that becomes a value to them. Then you then now need to know how to communicate, where to find their clients first, and then how to communicate your value to ideal clients. There's no point in you saying, I'm very good at this, but you don't know how to communicate it to me on how you can help me. If I've been having headache for the past 7 days and you sell a product that can take that headache away from me forever, but you don't have to tell me that, then you having the best effective medicine is useless if you do not know how to communicate your value to your ideal people. And also, that value is useless if you do not know where your ideal clients are camping. So you're just on all platforms, social media platforms, and you're shouting, and we're like, why is this person shouting up and down? We don't want to buy from you. We're not your target audience. People start unfollowing you, they start muting you because you are just creating a nuisance of yourself because you've not found your ideal client. Because once you find them, you will know where they are. Then you position yourself where they need to be. So that when you're talking about your service, your value, they can hear you, they can see you. Say, I've been looking for this. I want this. I'm going to buy. And
That,
also,
that is very important there. Now, to
yeah.
those people that are just starting out a business, they yet do not understand. How do you
Mhm.
find your target audience? Are there strategy to be able to do that?
Okay. So if you're just starting, you need to do your research. Again, people try to do shortcuts. If they got an idea, boom, the light bulb in their head, they woke up, oh my goodness, amazing idea. And the next thing they want to do is open website, open Instagram, telling people about it. Oh, come and buy what I'm selling. Putting plenty of money on things. But that's not how you go about it. So what I would say, number one is you need to start looking. So this is what I want to do. So what problem does this product or does this service solve? What problem with a prospect, let's say me or you, would have that I will come to you to want to buy that product? Also, you start writing some things down. Now, at this point, all these are assumptions, okay? Assumptions. You now start writing who will need this product? What is their age group? Would they be moms? Would they be parents? Would they be married? Would they be corporate people? Would they be workers? Would they be children? Who would need it? Who would use this thing? Break it down like that. Let's, for example, this is my product. I'm creating a headband, very fancy, Then I have to start writing who will use this headband. Okay. Oh, women, fantastic. That woman, it's not just women are plenty. What kind of woman? Is she gonna be a worker, corporate worker? If she's a worker, what kind of job will she have? Is she married? Does she have kids? How much is she earning? The reason why we ask those questions is because if the woman, she's married or she has children, single mother, for example, she has 4 children, she works at McDonald's. She's a worker, right? But then her earnings is 15,000 a year, but she has 4 kids, she has rent. Now, do you think this thing is a priority? No. She will not have the disposable income to afford this because her priority is, I need to feed my children. I need to cover, I need to clothe them. I need to pay rent. They need to have a roof over their head. So before they can think about buying from you, it will be a bit long. So this is why I always tell people that when you say who you want to target is very key to break it down to the nitty gritty of things. Yes, they're working. Cleaners are workers. People that are doing that carry our bins every week during the week, they're workers. People that are executives are workers. You have to define what kind of work. How much is their income? Because then, if they do not have disposable income, it'd be difficult for them to buy from you. So when you list those things, where are they based? Geographical insights. Where are they based? Okay, and you start thinking, okay, what is their traits? What are the attributes? How do they behave? Because when you know these things, again, when you know, let's say your ideal client, again, we're still assuming at this point, your ideal clients are moms. And then you want something, you want to share a post on Instagram or Facebook, and you want them to see it because it's for them. Now you start thinking, wait, so their moms and their children are between 3 and 5 years old. They probably be taking them to bed at, let's say, 7:30 p.m. So if I post at 7:30, they will not have my time. They will not see that post. So you need to understand these people because then you need to get to understand how they behave, have insight how they behave, so that it affects your marketing activities, right? So now you have identified who your ideal clients, you have assumed who they should be. Again, the word is assumption. You're assuming it at the beginning. So once you've done that, you want to do your research where you want to validate this thing. So you can do survey, you can do focus group, you can do interviews, just ask them questions. Now, when you put the questions together, you're asking them for their age. So to make sure that the age covers the one you've assumed before, eh? Ask them the problem, ask them if they see something like this, would they buy it? Ask them about alternatives in the market. Because I always tell people, just because the idea is great, does not mean there's a space for it in the market. So there's something I say, is there a gap in the market for your idea? And if yes, is there a market for it? There might be a gap for something, but people are not ready to pay for it because they have alternative and they're happy with the alternative. For example, Coke and Cola. So there's a brand Coca-Cola, and there's another brand that is a cheaper version, which is Cola. It's not the same thing. Cola, they can sell it here for, let's say, a bottle of cola can be, let's say, depending on the shop you go to, let's say 50 cents or 50 pence. Coke bottle can go for £1.50. The difference is clear. They're two different brands, right? Now, if Coca-Cola was just coming out and say, oh, we are premium, where this is £1.50, but there's been cola in the market. Now, the question is, we already have alternative. Why do I want to now go and spend triple of what I'm spending right now on something else? Unless they can show me the value that I'm going to get when I drink that Coca-Cola would be far greater than the cola that I'm drinking. If the satisfaction I'm going to get is different. You understand? So people have to know that just because I have a great idea does not mean it will sell. You have to find out, and it's through research to actually measure people's hunger, people's thirst for that thing that you want to bring out. And it's through research. So when you do your research, that is when you can now confirm and validate who your ideal client is. Now, just because you've done that does not necessarily mean it will not evolve. It will evolve because your customers, their lifestyle changes. So you have to also evolve with them. I remember I had a client, HR consultant client, 2 years ago. And she came to me, she said, oh, my ideal clients are small business owners, this and that. Well, that's fantastic. I never tell my client that they're wrong. Now, let's validate that. Let's confirm that. Let's do our research. So she went away for 2 weeks. She ran her research. She came back to me. It was her that said, I did not have to ask her, that said, oh, Mary, I don't think small business owners are my ideal client. I said, oh, what makes you say that? I said, based on my research, is medium-sized business that can afford my product and my service. I said, okay. And this is it. Nobody needs to tell you how to do things. Your research will inform you will direct you where to go. Nobody needs to tell you, oh, we can guide you, but when you do your research, it will inform you. It will validate what you're saying. It can either tell you, confirm that you're on the right path, or tells you that, oh no, you're a bit off, but this is it. So it's very key that everybody do their research. A lot of people jump that research because it's a lot of work, and because they're excited. Everyone gets excited for a new idea and things like that. We get excited. Even me, I get like, oh my goodness, yes. But like, no, don't get too excited. Do your research. Speak to people. Then you can have a confirmation, because then if you miss that step, you're going to be struggling. You're going to be frustrated. And something that's a passion for you, that you're meant to enjoy the process, will become frustrated to you just because you have not followed the right steps. I hope that made sense.
A lot of sense. A lot of sense. It made a lot of sense. All right. Now, let's share from your own personal experience. How did you research your audience to be able to know that this is the audience you want to serve, so that other people can probably do the same for their own type of audience?
Okay. So of course I'm a coach, and my audience are service-based businesses, and they have to be from, this is what I said to myself, they have to be from the 1st to 5 years in operation. So what I did, and also it's not just about me just saying they're my ideal clients. I also want to know how they want to be served, what works better for them. Again, trying to get into their head and understand, so that I can create a solution that fits them perfectly. So I did two things. I did survey, created a research on SurveyMonkey. It's free to use for 10 questions, asking them about, obviously, the age group, year of operation, if they're service-based or product-based, or and then obviously asking them if they were to hire a coach. Would they actually hire a coach? That's the first question, yes or no. If they were to hire a coach, how would they like to be coached? Is it virtually? Is it face to face? Is it just by course? So me creating a course and they go take it. Different options for them. And also, if they've ever had a coach before, what were their problems with that coach? Did they have any problem with that coach? How much are they willing to pay? Things like that. How long would they want to have a coach for? So I created a survey. That's one. Second thing I did was I put on social media that I'm looking for 10 women I'm trying to create a program. So I'm looking for 10 women to please answer a few questions for me. And in return, they get free discovery call. So I got 10 women that came on. We did a Zoom interview, one-to-one, 30 minutes interview, where I asked them exactly the same questions. Some people that don't have the time, I give them the survey questions, the link, they go answer. Some people that have time for me, we did Zoom interview where I took their insights, and that formed my program. That formed how I run my business, because then they're telling me how they want to be served. They're telling me how they want to be coached. So these are the things that I did. Again, remember, I have made an assumption. I want to work with just women. I want to work with service-based businesses. I want to work, they must be in their 1st to 5 years. They must have this certain problem, which is lack of consistent sales in the business. Things that I find out in that question, that how is their sales? Is it consistent? Just to understand that people actually have this problem. So that is what I did. And again, like I said, that it's a continuous journey. You don't just say, I found my ideal client and that's it. People change, circumstances change, lifestyle changes. So you need to be able to evolve with that and continuously change and adapt. Be agile enough to adapt to changes in your environment, in the life of your ideal client. Because some people will actually outgrow. For example, I said I want to work with between people that are working between 1st and 5 years of business. Now, when I've been working with some people, and they graduate, and in 6 years, they no longer fit into my ideal client anymore. So I can't keep holding on to
So
them.
what do you do
Don't
at
get me
that
wrong.
time?
So
What do
they've
you
grown.
do?
They've
Yeah.
grown. You fill out your with new people, because every day somebody is opening a business, and people that have graduated the 6 years, 7 years, because they already know me, they can come back and take my other service, like accountability service, for example. Other things that I do, or the ad hoc session. Oh, Mary, I'm launching something new. I just need your strategic, direction session, which is 2 hours ad hoc session. We can do that for them. So it's about you being able to adapt to the changes in your client's life. Don't just stick to, oh my goodness, these people. But their life is changing. You have to change with them. You have to understand. Now, you can change with them and provide new solution that will answer their new lifestyle problem. Like I said, when you're growing to maybe your 6th year, your 7th year, every level you get, there's always a new devil. So at that stage, there's always a need to speak to somebody, to bring conversation about something, like, let me brainstorm with you. Let us strategize. I want to create this new product. I want to create this new service. Can we strategize? So you create something, but because they're not in their first year anymore, what they would need in the 6th year would be different from what they needed in the first year. So you need to be able to adapt to that.
All right. Now, talking of clarity, how do you get clarity in your business?
Get a coach. Just kidding.
Of course, that is why you are there. So speak to the people.
Right? Get a coach. So I'll just give you what's it called, a scenario, or just to explain what it is. So I'm popularly known as the business GPS in the UK. That's what people know me as. Now, if you're traveling, so let's say you're in Venice, you're somewhere near Venice, for example, then you want to go somewhere outside your area, but you never been there before, okay? And you can drive there. It's a place you can drive to. Now, when you enter your car, you don't just start driving anyhow, aimlessly, directionless. You put it on your, what we call GPS, your sat navigation on in your car or on your phone, Google Map, whatever it is, right? You put it there, and it starts directing you. So the reason why I said why clarity is very key is you are going to a place you've never been before. So it's very key to gain clarity, because if you don't, a journey that should take you 1 year could end up taking you 10 years. It's
That's
very key
interesting.
to start, right? Right? So, for example, you want to drive to London from Manchester. I don't know how to get to London. I've been to London more than once, more than twice. But if you tell me to start driving now to London, I will still put it in my sat nav, the address where I'm going to direct me. Okay. So now imagine I get into my car, so I'm going to London. I start driving, but I don't know where I'm going. So I don't have clarity of where I'm going. So I'm going to be directionless. I'm wasting fuel. I'm wasting the car mileage. I'm wasting time. So so now when I get to a place and I'm stuck, then somebody tells me, oh, you need to go this way, go that way, because I put it back in the sat nav. Is not telling him to go all the way back and then take the direction this way. So that's why it's very important to have clarity in the business, because then you're time, you're going to be wasting money. You're going to, and then what you don't want is people to have a certain image of you or certain perception, your own mistake, which is very key. So, like for me, I would say that when I say clarity, I need you to get clarity on yourself, on your business idea, on your ideal client, on your offer, on the solution you provide, on your clarity on your customers, on your market. All these things are what you need to make sure you have the right foundation for your business. If you don't have all this information, clarity on all those things, you are wasting your time. Please stay in your day job. And the thing is, you cannot do it alone. You need a coach to help you to get that clarity. Now, this is not about me saying that because I want to take your money. No, but investment is needed if you want to make a business work. Places that you can get to, in 10 years, working with a coach to help you gain that clarity, you can get it in 1 year because they have walked that path. They have learned about that path. They can show you. It's like we're just giving the blueprint of that success. Here's why you need to do it. Here's what you need to do. And all you need to do is do it yourself. You know? So it's very, when you lack clarity, you're not going to get your destination. Because in the first instance, so a lot of us know, oh, I know I want to go to London. I just don't know how to get there. I know I want to make £10,000 a year. I just don't know how to make it. So speak to a coach. Get a coach. A lot of us coaches, we have free resources, okay, that you can use. Now, don't trust Mr. Google. Mr. Google will give you a generic answer that is not tailored to your own business, your own product, your own service. You're going to find generic answers, but your application matters. Having knowledge is not power anymore. Is you being able to apply that knowledge is what is key, and apply it well is what is key. You can learn, and then yes, you can get free resources here and there, but how long are you going to get the free resources? You need to speak to someone to give you that guidance, that clarity. And the funny thing is, when you work with a coach, we don't tell you what to do. We will ask you questions. You will then, the answer is within you. We just need to help you bring it out of you. And you'll be smiling like, oh my goodness, so I know these things. But you just need someone to hold your hand and show you that this, and ask you the right set of questions to bring that idea to life in your head. That's literally it.
All right, Mary. Now, there is this businesswoman who is who is a business, and she be doing it and wasting time. She doesn't yet know what to do. I happen to now meet you. Tell me how you are going to direct this woman so that she can focus on herself and able to, because you know that she have energy, so that energy can be correctly directed to be able to get results. What are your steps to help her?
So first of all, obviously we get on a call together, and then I understand the business itself. I will tell her to tell me about the business, tell me about her goals, what she wants to achieve. We will do gap analysis for her. So gap analysis is saying, looking at where you are at the moment and where you want to be. So you are in destination A at the moment, but you want to get to destination C. So there's a gap in between. Then I then come in to help you close the gap in between, to show you how you can get from where you are, the destination you are, to destination C that you want to get to. I will show you steps to get there. Again, it depends on the business that you run. It depends on whatever you do. That will say, okay, that will not give you a strategy that is tailored to that business. And I don't just give you the strategy to get you from A to C. I also show you how you can do it without getting burnt out, which is having the right process, the right system, and the right automation in your business. Because these days, everybody has 1, 2, 10 things they're doing. I am married. I have 2 children, which are still young. I have a day job, which I'm an agile consultant. I have multiple businesses. I have, volunteering that I do. So I have a lot that I'm doing. So I cannot afford to be sitting on my computer from morning till night trying to run a business. I need to have process in place. I need to have structure in place. I have to have system, and I have to have automation. So all those things are what is keeping me sane. And these are the things I also share with this lady to make sure that she's not running mad. And our health is not under attack, because everybody's trying to make it. And I know when you're trying to make it, when your business is new and young, you tend to do everything. Like, oh my God, I'm excited, I have to do it. And you neglect other things. It happened to me, where I was doing this, my business, I was excited, it's my baby, but I was neglecting my marriage. I was neglecting my babies. And my husband had to call me out and say, it seems like you love your business more than me. It seems like you love your business more than your children. And from that time, I was like, you know what? I need to put the right boundaries in place. I need to put the right structure. I went to hire, virtual assistant to be helping me as well. I make sure I put some boundaries. I don't work on weekends. I don't work past certain hours. If anybody needs to reach me, they have the automated messages, email, links, book a call with me. I will get there. You cannot reach me. So I put a lot of things in place to make sure I give the right amount of time to my family. I give that amount of time to my business. And these are the things that I know a lot of women struggle with because they have other commitments and they have the business. So I help them. So I will listen to her. That's the first thing I will do to understand where she's at the moment, where she wants to be, do a perform a gap analysis, the gap in between, based on what they are, give her direction, give her strategic direction and strategies on how to close that gap to move her to a destination. And while doing that, showing her ways that she cannot get burnt out. Showing her how to have the right structure, the right process, the right system, and also automation of our business. So that way she can be in Bahamas having a good holiday and she's still making money.
That is a key word. There is a secret, though. Thank you so much, Mary. Thank you so much for the sharing. This is what the community. This is the food for the community. We need it. We need the knowledge. No, I believe that a lot of people are going to benefit if we continue to put in all the energy out there, because it's going to help the community too. That the poverty can be reduced and more people can have access to what they really need to live this life. People want to connect with you. How would they connect with you? Use this small few seconds to promote yourself. Please go ahead.
Okay, so you can connect with me on Instagram at I am Mary Fash, and also on my website, which we have a lot of free resources that you can download to learn about me, hear about what people are saying about me at www.maryfash.com. That's Mary, MaryFash.com. I just put on Google Mary Fash, Maryfash together. Put it on Google. You'll find me. You'll find some articles about me. You find on Google my business. You find reviews on there as well. And I will let you know my service are not that they're not expensive. So don't think because I have a big name, so you can't come to me. Please, I am always looking out to help as men, especially women, because I believe we all have our purpose. We are more than wives, we're more than mothers. We have our own personal individual purpose in life. And I want us to step into that. So I'm always looking to help and empower women. So don't let finance be an obstacle in you growing your business. I always have payment plan that is very, very affordable to people. So just come, just speak to me. And let's see how we can talk. I have a free 30 minutes discovery call. Again, you can find out my website at www.maryfash.com. Book a free discovery with me. Let's talk together. Let's see how I can help you. And if I cannot help you, I have lots of connection where I can direct you or who I can recommend to you that can help your business as well. So don't feel like you have to do it alone. You are not alone. We're all together in this. I'm here to help as many businesses as willing to work, because it's not easy. You have to work, but we'll make it easier because we just show you the blueprint, right? But you still have to do the work. Okay, when you do the work, you get results. That's what my colleague used to say, and I think it works all the time. So it's very key. But I will have you know, there's nothing free. It's called investment. Don't see it as an expense. You're investing in your business, and if you do the right thing that we teach you, you will make that money back. Because we always say when there's no transaction, there is no transformation. So think about it.
That's very important. All right. Now, I wanted to speak to somebody who have heard this, what you're saying, and want to really make a change. Where do you want this person to start? Give her some strategies to get started for the first time. Leaving maybe the paid job to building something for herself. What are the strategies to take?
The first thing is don't leave your paid job yet.
Thank you for that.
That's my first advice. Don't leave your paid job unless it's an abusive, work toxic environment. Okay, but do not leave your paid job just yet. That's the first thing I would say. Second thing I would say is I would direct you to my website again, www.maryfash.com, and download my free resource, The 5 W's of Starting a Business. It's free. Download it, read it. It will give you that foundation that you need to start. It talks about what the business is, why are you doing it, who is it for, where are you going to position yourself, and what method, what strategy are you going to use to actually get that business up and running. That's also that's the strategy I can give you to do. Because everything I've talked about today is part of that strategy concept, and it's completely free. Go and download it. And if you feel like you have any questions as well, feel free to write to me at hello@maryfash.com.
Thank you so much for that, Mary. Now, what would be your last statement here to conclude the conversation? It will be a bump here. It will be really powerful. This is a full lecture. All right, conclude it in your own way. It can be a message or anything that you want to add. Yeah.
So again, my message always like, you are made for more. Don't settle. Don't settle. Don't let anybody tell you you cannot achieve it. The only limitation you have is yourself. You can be all you want to be. I'm telling you, you can be all. You can be the mom, you can be the sexy wife, an amazing, glamorous mom, badass entrepreneur, and still have your career. And you can be flying anywhere you want, business class, first class. You can achieve anything you want to achieve. Read lots of books, learn from it, apply the knowledge you've gained. Don't stop learning. The day you stop learning is the day you die. Don't stop learning. Leverage on the power of networking. You cannot achieve anything on your own. We need each other. So leverage on the power of networking. Give out and you receive as well. What else can I say? Again, you are made for more. You have a purpose. The way I say life is like a globe. The globe is a puzzle. Each one of us is a puzzle that makes that globe. So you are a puzzle in that globe. So if you are missing, you're not achieving your purpose, something is missing in the world. Someone is waiting for your expertise. Someone is waiting for you to step into that purpose for their life to become better. Your purpose is not for you. The reason why God has created you is not for you, it's for somebody else, which is what my life mission is, to help every other person out there. It's not for me, it's for somebody else. So when you think about that, I want you to get up and do something about it, because don't be selfish. Somebody is out there suffering. Until you get up and do something about it, their life cannot be transformed. So some lives are waiting and depending on you. Do something about it. You can do it. The only limitation is you. The society cannot stop you. Do not allow society to put limits on you. No. Your circumstances cannot stop you. You can rise above it. Okay. If you're a Christian, I don't know if they say in the Quran, in the Bible, it says God will not bring to your way what you cannot handle. So if you're going through any situation, it means you have the power, you have the strength. God has given you the grace to overcome it, and you will overcome it. Don't limit yourself. Don't settle. I am here for you to help you. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out, and I'm here to support you. That's all I can say for tonight. Thank you very much, Obehi.
Thank you so much, dear Mary. It has really been a pleasure on my part. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Father.
If you enjoy this podcast, make sure you subscribe so you never miss any of our future episodes. Rate and review Obehi Podcast and share with your friends who might need it. I remain Obehi Ewafo. Thank you so much for listening, and talk to you in the next episode.